And a good day to you, Explorer Nation. John Lynskey here from a crisp fall-like Macon, Georgia, and it's great to be back
Macon's looking nice and fall-like.
because it is nice and fall-like, Mr. Isenberg,
Got
and,
some
and
like dark leaves back there, and it looks beautiful.
it's bucolic, Mr. Isenberg. It truly is. And yes, obviously, we're back for part two with Columbus legend, art teacher, wrestling coach, Hall of Famer, the incomparable Dave Isenberg. Mr. Isenberg, welcome
Gentlemen,
back.
hello. Thank you for having me back, Coach Lynskey. It's always a pleasure to see you in whatever capacity. Last time we were like side by side. Now we're virtual. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And you know what I love was that countdown. That 10-9 it reminded me of my last colonoscopy, which I thought I was gonna make it to 1, and I made it till about 8.
You know, it's always nice to be compared to a colonoscopy, Mr. Eisenberg. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Anytime.
that.
It's
Buenos
always a
tiempos.
pleasurable experience to be on the air with John Lynskey.
So, anyway, last week we had so much fun, and the responses were overwhelming. People loved it. It was great.
It's your energy, John. I'm the straight guy for your joke.
Clearly. And speaking of jokes, your imitation of Coach Staiano was awesome. And the one thing we didn't get to is the whole Andy Avalos thing that used to go on at the pep rallies. And Andy, great guy, great math teacher, great football coach, funny man, but short-tempered.
Another one of my targets, because he's an easy target. Very easy.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
If you put up a little bit of a fight, I'm going to go after that. So, and the kids know. I mean, my son's had Mr. Avalos, tremendous math teacher. He's a great math teacher.
Yes.
But very sensitive to loud sounds, and so or being interrupted, in fact. So you interrupt him during the middle of class, and he's dismantling the PA system in his room so that he's not interrupted anymore. Can I say that out loud? I don't know.
You just did, so it doesn't matter because it's the truth. And sometimes we shouldn't tell the truth, but we did in this case. But those pep rallies where you'd flash his name up on the cards and you got the kids going and the seniors going crazy. Those were
those are good pep rallies. We got a lot of kids in that gym. And so as kids are coming in, I went after Mr. Avalos because he's a good easy target. I knew he was going to get a little irate, and there would probably be some fireworks, and of course, his name breaks down perfectly for something like that. When I had those boards, Avi less, Avi less, 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 Avi less, Avi less. So I could build a rhythm. I could change it up. And then, of course, the seniors knew exactly what was going on, and they were just chiming right in. They got to the sophomores, then the juniors, and then when they got back to the freshmen, they had no clue what was happening, and it died. And, of course, they all got booed, all the freshmen.
And the chant started.
The chant. The freshmen.
And they do, yes.
And they do. Well, they did in that sense. Yes, they did. It was terrible. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out.
No, but those were gloriously good times, and those.
That first time, by the way, Mr. Avalos chased me around the gym. He was like, I think he was really caught off guard and a little angry, so he was chasing me around.
It was kind of a scene out of Gladiator almost. It was extraordinary.
One Gladiator.
Are you not
an old guy with some shields?
Hey, so those are the good times in life, and those are the ones that we treasure. But we know that there's the back side of the medal and the other side of the coin, and the yin to the yang, and that's. You have been through some challenges, Dave, and you overcame.
Well, John, we both have. We both have seen really wonderful, beautiful days here at Columbus, and we've seen our share of really tough days.
Yeah, dark days.
I will say this: all through any of those times, this place has kept me buoyed, has kept me sane. Right now, it's a place where I'm staying normal because of Columbus. can that be possible? That a place like Columbus could make you
Normal
feel normal
is all relative at Columbus High School, Coach.
That's true. That's true.
It really is. But yeah, Dave, let's just put all the cards down on the table.
Well, 20 some odd years ago, my first wife was diagnosed with a metastatic breast cancer, stage 4. It was very, very bad. I had 2 kids. One was 7. The other was 2.5, 2. And she only lasted 356 days. She didn't make a school year. And she passed away on June 19th. And I was a widower with 2 little kids.
Yeah.
And Joanne Savino, Mrs. Savino, told me, listen, your kids are going to be your salvation. And she was right. They kept me alive. They kept me moving forward because I had to every day get up, clothe them, take them to school, feed them, get them along and do homework and all that. So, and I told people this, I'm not a very good mother, but I was trying to be the best father I could be. And so those were very, very tough times. But, in between those tough times, there's like awesome blessings. And so, not long after that, I met my second wife, who's Stevie Gonzalez's little sister, Jeanette.
Yeah.
And she looked at me with pity and decided that this man deserved the second chance at happiness and saved me from myself. So I was very, very happy. And so we combined our forces and we formed a little family. And then we had another little one, my daughter Sophia, who's going to be 20 in about a week and a half or so.
Wow.
She's my baby, my little girl, but she's at Pepperdine University now. So total blessings. And so, you're going along kind of like minding your own business, like on May 18th of 2020, and just teaching your class. And all of a sudden you start wigging out and things are happening. And that's what happened to me this year. And I was having some kind of seizure.
That was a bad day, Dave. That was a bad day.
Yeah. And so, it was an interesting day. I couldn't feel from my knee down on my right leg, and I couldn't see on the right side of my eye below my vision or the side. And so I was having problems with peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Thank God I had a meeting with Brother Tom and Brother Peter. And so I was over there and I told him, I don't feel too good. So Brother Tom said, I think you should go to the nurse. I said, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry. Except they started walking into walls. And then when Tom got me, and I was bumping into everything, Tom got me to the office. Then they called the cavalry in. And that's when all the administrators, yourself being included, showed up. And I was obviously not, I was not well. So, I won't tell this story. So just to let you know that you all thought I was having a stroke or something, and I was going into panic mode because my son Alex was pitching for Loyola.
He was on the
mound, and my wife was sending me message, Alex pitching now. And just then fire rescue showed up and they wanted me to lay down. And I told you, I'm not laying down. Alex is pitching. And then you jumped on top of me and you put your hands on my chest and you looked at me and you said, Dave, stay down. And I did. So I listened.
Yeah.
I listened to those firemen, I listened to you.
Well, thank you, Dave. It took a little convincing. And I remember thinking, because you're a pretty strong guy for a man of a certain age, I'm thinking this might not end well.
Well, I looked at your eyes and I thought to myself, he's really serious. Those are John Lynskey's serious eyes, which I've seen on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
Those are not eyes you want to look at like that. So I said to myself, okay, Dave, shut up and lay here.
Yeah.
So they carted me out and it ended up not being a stroke. Unfortunately, after a few days of investigation, they found out it was what we call a glioblastoma, which is probably the most aggressive and dangerous brain tumor you can have. So that's what I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah. And let me say this about that. you are a man of faith, and I have witnessed your faith firsthand. We worked some encounters together, and it was during those encounters that I realized, when you married Jeanette, you converted to Catholicism, but it was a serious conversion. It wasn't some
It wasn't because of her.
exactly. Yeah. Okay.
No, I had I honestly believe I had a mystical encounter with the risen Christ, with the transfigured Christ. And that happened on the Feast of St. John Newman on 2005, which is January 5th of 2005. And so what happened, I was minding my own business in that church in the crying room. My daughter Sophia was about 4 at the time, sitting next to me. And my son Caleb was dressed as St. John Newman.
Of course he was.
A blonde St. John Newman.
Of course he was.
Yeah. The Jewish kid, let's dress him up as St. John Newman. And so my wife and Alex weren't there yet because my son Alex was doing homework. And so all of a sudden, at some point, what happened was this guy named Peter, who I know from the church there, was a Eucharistic minister. He was coming around the corner there. I was looking at my son Caleb through the window in St. John Newman. And I was thinking to myself, man, I'm so proud of that kid. He's St. John Newman tonight. And then my Jewish mind went to work, and I said, well, why would you be proud of that? And just as I thought that, this guy Peter crossed my vision with the ciborium full of the consecrated hosts.
Yeah.
And when that all like lined up, there was this huge explosion of light, like brighter than I've ever seen. And I jumped and I gasped to the point where my 4-year-old looked at me and said, Daddy, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? I said, I don't know, but some crazy mystical thing happened to me that night. And from that day forward, I have not been the same. So I had by the way, my friend, Paul Edwards, the late Paul Edwards, God rest his soul, was there. I grabbed him. I said, look, something happened to me. I was like out of my mind. I didn't know what to do. And he took me in the chapel, and I had at that night a lock, stock, and barrel conversion to Catholicism. I became a Catholic. I accepted everything. I mean, if he could have given me the host, I would have received it. I would have taken it all that night. But I had to go through RCIA. So
you just said a very simple word that is hard to deal with, and that word is acceptance. Life can kick you in the face sometimes. Well, life can be a bitch, and I think the hardest part about things of this nature is the acceptance aspect of it. And it seems to me, David, that your faith is allowing you to deal with it, to not ask why, because you're not going to get an answer, although it's human nature to ask why. Only God knows why. So don't ask.
I probably asked those questions more, John, the first time I dealt with cancer with my late wife.
Yeah.
I dealt with it more then, the whys and all that, but all during that time, there was some kind of crazy stuff happening to me where, I never lost contact with God. There were points of that whole process where I started to like recite parts of the mass, like things that make no sense. Like, why were those things happening? Why was I replaying like, so the Christ was talking to me at that time, and coming and slowly seeping into my mind and my heart to mend me, heal me. And but let me tell you, I'm going to tell you that if I was not surrounded by some wonderful, wonderful people at this place, at Columbus High School, things might not have happened the way they happened. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have our campus ministry program, campus ministers. Brother Brady, Brother Tom Long, Peter Guadalupe, all the Marist brothers that I've worked with over the years. And I've given talks about how important the Marist brothers have been to my life and who I am and who I've become. I don't even know what I would be without them. Right before my late wife passed, Ken Curtin was at my house with Liam Quinn, giving her last rites and counseling me. I've been truly, even though there have been lots of tough times, I've been so blessed by the people that work here. They're true blessings. I don't mean to be trite or sound trite or corny, but Columbus is a really special place.
With the help of God and true friends, that's what it comes down to. And I got to ask you, Dave. While we're on, did you ever get mad at God?
Yeah, I can remember one time I had taken my late wife to Baptist. We're getting a bone scan, and the tech came out to me and she said, "Listen, the doctor's going to call you tomorrow. Just want to let you know so you're ready." And I can remember I dropped her off at home, and I was driving in, and I was getting off at Coral Way, and from the Palmetto coming from Miami Springs, and I was definitely angry, man. And I said, "Listen, leave her alone. I'm here. Take me." I was taunting God. I'm like, you know what? I'm right here. You come get me. Leave her alone. It didn't work out that way, and things don't work out the way we think they're going to work. So we do have to accept. It's really hard to accept. And so this second go around, through a lot of counseling and ministry from the people that I work with, Doc Dugard and Albert Rodriguez, and the brothers that I have come to see. Alex Trujillo, Coach Trujillo, a very spiritual guy, is constantly sending me spiritual reminders to stay strong, keep my faith. So these people have kept me going in a very positive way, because something like this, which has a very, very poor prognosis, could make you crazy. And so I'm staying sane because I am putting this myself and whatever I've got in God's hands. I am giving it up to God, because I got no control over it. I tried to control it the first time and it didn't work. So I know that I'm not in control.
Yeah. You're trying to empty the ocean with a bucket.
I don't have answers. And I'm telling you, I tell these guys, my students, when you're 15 or 16, man, you are as smart as you're ever going to be. When you turn 60, you're going to realize how much you don't know. And it's important to know what you don't know. We did mention that before.
It's what you learn after you know it all that counts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
And that's very true. It's amazing that you mentioned Albert Rodriguez and Alex Trujillo in the same sentence, because that is Columbus High School, because you cannot find two people more A to Z different in personality, in demeanor, in presentation. And yet
Alex Trujillo was a fight a minute in my class when he was a sophomore and junior. He was an angry young man.
Yeah.
An angry young man. But people transform themselves, and he did. And
dangerous young
wonderful. Dangerous. And Alex, I don't mean to say this to embarrass you, but you are such a blessing to me and this place. We are, honest to God, lucky to have you here. But there were days where I wanted to just choke you.
Well, you probably did, but we won't talk about that right now.
No, I didn't. I was afraid of Alex. Like he was.
Well, yeah, there's that.
And then there's Albert. There's Albert, who, like,
God bless him,
had vocation to priesthood, in freshman year of high school, and then he met a girl. Those things happen.
They do happen. Yeah. So, Dave, your attitude, and I'm not blowing smoke at you because there's no point. Your
I know
attitude,
it's crap.
your attitude is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I know you're not one for self-pity. And I know that, none of us know how much time we have left anyway.
No.
And we saw a lot of that last year, as we know. And it just seems that you are making the most of every moment you have. And as you know, I had a wonderful surprise visit from your son, Caleb, up here in Macon. And I'm not going to share with you everything.
Probably best.
But he is so proud of his father.
Well, that's great. I'm glad. I'm glad about that.
And
Sometimes I'm not sure.
well, because you're his father, he's not going to tell you that. But I think, Dave, if I was to ask you, what is one message you would want to get across to the people that may be watching us here? What message or messages, whatever, would you give to people?
I would just say we're not alone. Nobody's alone in this. You just think you are sometimes, and you have to have faith and really believe that it's not just you. That you're with God all the time. I know it sounds a little contrived, but if you just think that you're alone all the time, man, that's sadness. And so, like from the moment I got this diagnosis, I thought to myself, man, and I knew before from the past experience that I was surrounded by the way, today's the feast day of the archangels, and I still am surrounded by angels, but they're not angels that have wings. These are people that are real people that have the spirit of God's love in them, and it's just coursing out of them and into the rest of the world. And sometimes we act in ways that are maybe not so godlike, but we're human, and we're just moving forward. So I'd say acceptance. That's a big one. Try to accept your lot and move forward. Positivity. I've given a lot of words. Sorry, maybe you should stop me so that I won't keep giving extra words.
I am not even going to think about stopping you, because everything you're saying is resonating with people. And I will say this to you: the admiration that people have for you, that I have for you, that we all have for you, those of us that have known you for a very long time. I remember your beautiful hair. Okay, you remember mine.
Yeah, well, now I'm covered with these electrodes on my head for cancer treatment. But
so
I do have some hair, John. Yeah,
we've gone from blonde shimmering locks to electrodes, but
exactly.
It's been quite a journey, Dave, and you are one of the most respected people at Columbus High School.
I really appreciate it. But John, I never came here thinking that's what I was after. I was just here really to teach art and coach wrestling. Like I said, when I read that newspaper ad, those are the two things I really wanted to do. And so I got to do them both. And, like I said, blessings have been, dropped on me. I've had a lot of great kids that I've come in contact with over the years. Some great talented artists who I've, collaborated with, have watched, take off in terms of their artistic careers. And so I'm, people I've worked with over the years who are still my friends, students of mine, like Mike Nesser, who's now one of my very good friends. I'm Albert Rodriguez, all those guys were just sitting in this room with me here not long ago, trying to figure out how to do a drawing or a painting. And now, they're professionals working here, and I consider myself to be lucky to call them my friends.
And, Dave, on a personal note, I'm always thankful for the help and mentorship you gave my nephew, Kevin, when he was working and coaching at Columbus. He learned a lot from you.
I miss Kevin. We had a great relationship. we would often sit outside the front of my room there at the bench, and Kevin would just sit back and watch me just randomly say things to kids, and then they'd walk away, and we would laugh because the kids would have no idea what we were talking about. Which,
yeah, well, those are the moments, those random conversations. And
yes, pretty entertaining, right? Stuff like
Yes.
what's in the bag, or things like kids got a guitar case. I'd ask them, "What do you got in there? Sousaphone?" Things like that. And
those are the moments. Those are the moments that make it all worthwhile, Coach Isenberg.
Yeah. By the way, just want to let you know that painting, right there, that painting right there, that's a painting by Pat Mullen from 1989, right there. Sorry, actually 87. Pat Mullen. Pat Mullen. It's been in this room since 1987.
1980 something. That's a long time. Yes.
This guy right here, I don't know. He misbehaved, but.
Oh, Mr. Skeleton?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been there a while too. He's one of your best students, isn't he?
Yes, he does pay attention.
Listen, this has been a true pleasure and very enjoyable and very fulfilling to me. I value and treasure our relationship. We've seen a few things together, good and bad, and yet here we are. And
we've had our tragedy, but we move forward and make the best of what we've got. And listen, if you don't look at the good things in your life and you only look at the bad, it could be very bleak, a very bleak life. So, and for people, especially Columbus guys who've gotten to had the chance to come through here and had great teachers, great people around them, count your blessings. You got a lot to be thankful for. Even though, and I know it's pretty dark for where I'm standing right now. I'm in a pretty dark corner, but I'm really trying to focus on the day today and how great today is. And if I don't go any further than that, then I'm good.
You know what? You might be in a dark corner, but you're always looking at the bright side. And that's why you are the unbreakable Dave Isenberg. And that's why we love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you too, John.
I can't thank you enough for doing this. Explorer Nation, this has been a very, very special episode with a very, very special man.
Anytime. Just let me know. Call me up. Whatever. We could do it. We could do it with a whole bunch of guys. We can make fun of Andrew Harriman for at least 3 or 4 hours.
Yes, we could. We'll have to get an extra wide screen. Although to his credit, he looks great. He does. David, much love, brother.
All right. Thanks so much. Adelante, gentlemen. We'll see you.
All right, Explorer Nation. Thank you very much for tuning in. Not the easiest thing, but I'm glad.
Good afternoon, Columbus.
And so
let's wrap up the day.
An announcement.
Adelante.
Adelante.